Greetings, my friends. Warm springtime blessings to you. I have been ruminating on offering a liver meridian specific yin yoga pose as well as a follow up tarot reading from my previous video and with some sounds. And this time I have the handpan for accompaniment. I'm wearing my Sunshine Daydream pants with my Pocahontas top, so this is going to be off the hook. There's a reason for everything. So getting started. Offering grounding and just rested seat. So easeful and without effort, just sitting and being. So my first offering is the tarot reading, and they drew two cards. They flipped out and landed right in my lap, so that's how I knew they were the ones. The first is the Death card, which is a major arcana card. It stands alone, and it obviously has a pretty obvious meaning, but it's not so obvious in the fact that it doesn't mean the world's gonna die, we're in a pandemic, everyone's fucked. It's more like death. Whenever there's a death, there's a new beginning. I'm perceiving this to be that there is a death to an old way. So we're going on a couple weeks, and they say that it's 21 days to break a habit. So we're going on a month almost, and we will be into, at least, depending on where you are, at least a month in quarantine. So at least a month without impulsively going out and getting coffee or going to a movie or going to the gym or going to, doing these mindless tasks that we put ourselves into for no reason other than that's just kind of, we've allotted that to be our enjoyment and something that we tend to do. I love climbing, and I haven't gone climbing in a few weeks. I love my family and friends. I haven't seen them in a few weeks. I'm a nurse in a local hospital, and I work on a COVID-19 unit. And my spirits are the lightest and brightest, and I'm the happiest that I've been in a very, very long time, if not the happiest in my adult life. So it's very fascinating how that alignment, are they things that we really enjoy, or are they obligations that we put upon ourselves? So what I think this card represents is a transformation of the old way. And it's our psyche, our consciousness have been disrupted abruptly and without warning. Some would say that we should have been coming a few months back, but whatever. But there's a transformation taking place in the collective right now. And however that is made to be manifest is all going to depend on what geographical location you're in, but not even that so much as what energetic grouping you are in. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, please include in the comment below. And I'm more than happy to kind of sort out my jargon of what I perceive and what I believe to be going on. And then the second card was a card that came out in the previous reading that I did for this channel, but this time it was reversed. It was the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords previously was upright, and it means mental block. And the original reading was basically, I'll recap. It was basically, that the collective energy was really kind of caught in the panic and the fear state of what was going on because it was so fresh and novel and new, and there was really no understanding of what was going on. This, to me, that was a couple weeks back. This, to me, is indicating and showing that there's been a shift in that energy. There's been a change in the perception of what's going on. There's not a mental block anymore. In fact, there's an energetic movement that's been taking place. So there's an allowing of what's happening to happen There's less disgruntled nature about it and more of an acceptance mentally about it, because the swords is related to the mental body. All that being said, things are moving along. We're getting through this. There's less cases reported every day in Italy and in China, the places where they were hit the hardest. I mean, now obviously the US is in tandem with that, but things are moving along. Things will return to some form of normalcy, but it will be different. It's going to be transformed. So why don't you take this time, and instead of waiting for it to be over, and embrace it. Take it for what it is. Recognize how imperative and important the silence and the stillness is at this time, and the disconnection from all the unnecessary external energies, all the unnecessary external things we take into our body, the things that we consume by going out and meeting places and What is the purpose of all that? I think that is the ultimate question that we are being brought to ask ourselves. What are you actually doing those things for? For what is the reason? And that question is finding your purpose on this planet. And it can be some pretty deep spiritual stuff if you let it. So, that being said, I would really love to offer a yin yoga pose that I just performed myself. And it was interesting because I was like, well, I really want to offer a liver meridian pose. And my body just kind of naturally went into this pose, which can be very confronting and very challenging, I will be honest. But it felt right to share since my body organically went into this posture. It felt like maybe it was a sign or a message from spirit that this is something that we could all benefit from at this time. And it also happens to be a heart opener. That being said, again, finding your grounded seat. The earth is beneath you, taking deep breaths in and exhaling out. Two more of those oceanic sounds. Ushering it out to shore. One more deliberate, intentional, however it comes through for you. Eyes closed, jaws relaxed, shoulders sliding down the back. Spine is an erect column. Without effort, without force, belly is slightly drawn in. Feeling the temple that is your body just naturally in alignment and with such great ease, such grace. Natural breathing. Perfect. So slowly opening the eyes, if they aren't open already, you are going to have some form of a support. So, pillow, bolster if you happen to have a bolster, firm blanket rolled up. I will grab a blanket to show. So something like this, you can just roll it up to support the back. And I will show you with my bolster what we're planning to do. And also, it's interesting, I'm going to end with that. But I just saw a tarot card that was flipped up that I didn't notice before. Anyway, so the pose is called deer pose, and it's a modified pigeon pose. This is usually something that people are like, oh, like lovely, because it's very nice. Ordinarily, you have your one foot. I mean, this is going to be what we're going to do anyway, but you have your foot over the top of the knee or the thigh, and then you start to slide over, and then you fold, and it's very lovely. It's very nice and easy to drift and dip and surrender into. But this variation, again, it's kind of like this. You're going to have the knee in alignment with the ankle and alignment with the knee, and it's going to be right angles. If this is not making, I think it probably makes sense, but look up on the internet and under Google Images, swastikasana. Literally, it's swastika sana, because the original intention of the symbol was in Hindu, or I think it's been a long-lasting symbol, but it's a Hindu symbol, and it's shaped halfway this way. Excuse me. But it's also deer pose. So if you Google image it, you'll see clearly what they're looking for. Or rather, what I'm looking for, or what you're looking for to experience within your body. So I have this bolster here, lengthwise, behind me, and then I have my tailbone pretty much pressed against it, and you're gonna lay back. So if you have the bolster, if you don't, you're going to want to get a few different pillows and put them back to back so you can have the cushioning and the padding behind you. You can also bring a blanket behind you and put it more towards your tailbone, and then lay back on that. Oh, that feels good. But let me tell you, you're gonna feel like you want a lot of support under your back because it is very intense. But I promise you, your bone's not gonna puncture out of your skin. It's just a very odd sensation that we're not used to feeling, and it's intended towards really opening up some connective tissue, particularly, at least where I felt it, was on the outer aspect or the lateral aspect of my knee and thigh. So, that being said, please find your variation, taking your time, recognizing that the movement and the preparation is as important, if not more important, than the pose itself, because you are going to hold it for a longer period of time. And yeah, so finding that variation. If you have questions, please, as I said, put it in the comments, and I'm more than happy to have a direct conversation with you or respond through the comments. And then when you get settled, just start to breathe naturally, close the eyes, tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. You can engage in that oceanic sound, Ujjayi breath, which is and it's kind of like the sensation of fogging the mirror in the back of the throat. Or rather, like when that's the sensation you feel in the back of the throat, is the sensation of when you're fogging a mirror, but your mouth is closed. And you're channeling that breath up the neck and up through the throat. So that's Ujjayi breath. Recognizing the power behind this posture, the power of you that is designating and choosing this position and choosing this life. Choosing to face and conquer, and not even conquer, just face and taste what could be perceived as suffering, discomfort, and recognizing its value, and perhaps transmuting it, hopefully transmuting it from lead to gold. That's all the alchemical process is. Shifting an experience from being perceived one way to a state of enlightenment, a state of positive thinking, positive affirmations. Please, as you find yourself surrendering, I wish to offer you some sound. Sipping in a more conscious breath. That ocean current running over the body. Waves of energy. As you find it to be appropriate to you, taking your time to come out of that posture and designating something in between sides. So you can squeeze the knees into the chest, find a happy baby, legs up the wall, some sort of intermittent pose to neutralize the energies that may have come up, may have been stirred up in your body. And as you're in this receptive position, I would like to share with you the card that I remember now. Two of those two cards landed in my lap. The other one landed outside of my leg, on the outside of my lap. And I recognize this to mean that it's following the quarantine. So, and it is the Two of Wands, and it has Aries energy, in fact. And it's about, Wands is about inspiration. It's about transformation and growth. The Mars symbol is on here as well, and the Mars is a masculine symbol, literally. And it's very much so about Yang energy, pushing forward, being active, intentionally going for something, as opposed to Yin is more about quieted retreat, pulling in, taking, surrendering, and taking in quiet chaos. What is actually, it's more about feminine energy, cooling energy, just receptivity. The masculine is more about pushing forward, being active, and that's what this card represents. The Two of Wands is it's two, so it's about harmony, and it's a positive card, but it's showing there's a lot of domination, there's a lot of active choice, active growth, intentional movement, intentional change. And that is on the other side of this quarantine. While there's going to be that death, that transformation, as a result, there will be intentional change in people that are in tune with themselves, and they're in tune, and they're taking this opportunity to meditate and reflect. And that's not to say anything negative about the other, because the people that aren't doing that, because everyone has their purpose on this planet. Everyone has their offering, and it's all equally valuable. But on the other end of this, there's going to be a lot of chance for change and shift, and you can actively manifest that growth and shift and change. I'm going to leave this here. You do have another side. Please take it, and please take a nice long rest, however that translates to you, whether it be laying on your back, on your side, on your belly, propped, positioned with pillows, covered with blankets. Settle in. Please stay well. Be conscious and cautious, and take heed. Thank you.